My fox beast person posted my photo on the beast person trading dark web. Who wants him? I'll even pay you to take him. Below, many beast people commented one after another. Why are you getting rid of this handsome human? He looks perfect for a master. If you're really selling, I want him. Shakiki replied, don't just look at his face. He's terrible, totally unqualified to be a master. He has this disgusting, bitter medicinal smell on him. He has so many damn strict rules, and he controls his beast person to death. I have it worse than a stray beast person. And he's so old-fashioned and boring. Even my only friend, a white tiger beast person, doesn't like him. Especially since he has a handsome older brother for comparison. It just makes him seem even worse. In conclusion, Shakiki said, anyway, I don't want a master like this for another day. If you still want him after hearing all that, then go ahead and place your bid. The next second, an anonymous beast person bought him instantly. The 4 bright red words, transaction successful, popped up, and Shakiki just stared blankly. She suddenly remembered that all transactions on the dark web were strictly forbidden from being reversed or cancelled. I was handling some work while Shakiki was lying on the bed with her back to me, playing on her phone. Her fluffy foxtail was swishing back and forth. Suddenly, her tail went ramrod straight, and she scrambled up from the bed. She turned and shot me a furtive glance, her eyes filled with nervousness. I adjusted my glasses. What happened? Shakiki's expression froze, and she quickly waved her hands. Nothing. It's nothing at all. I raised an eyebrow but didn't press further. This little fox had always had many thoughts and feelings she was unwilling to share with me. I've always respected her and made it a habit not to ask too many questions. Shakiki couldn't sit still, biting her lip tightly. Her gaze was glued to her phone screen. The 4 large words, transaction successful, were still glaring at her. They wouldn't disappear until she tapped the screen again. But who on earth had bought her master? She had described her bad master in such awful terms, so how could a beast person have bought him in a second? Shakiki was anxious and angry, with absolutely no idea what to do. After thinking it over, she could only turn to her one and only white tiger beast person friend for advice. But to her surprise, Lu Ruyan's reaction was very calm. So he's sold. So what? Don't you dislike him? Don't you want him anymore? This is perfect. Let a beast person who can accept him as a master have him. As for you, just go find a master who meets your standards. Everyone's happy. Shakiki let out a cry of frustration. She conflictedly closed the chat window and buried herself under the covers without a word. 5 minutes later, her face was bright red. She quietly sent a message to Wuxia. Would you be willing to take in another beast person? At the same time, ding, my inbox suddenly received an email. It was from the beast person dark web. Just as I was about to open it, dozens of messages flashed across the computer screen. They were screenshots. In one of them, I immediately saw a photo of myself. My breath caught in my throat. In the photo, I was sitting in front of the computer. I was wearing my silver-framed glasses and clothes for around the house. This photo was taken tonight, and from this angle, only Shakiki could have taken it. Slowly, I finished looking through every single screenshot and closed the window, my face devoid of expression. I paused for a moment, then clicked into my email. The message in that email was brief. Dear human male, as the beast person party has sold you, your contract with your fox beast person has been forcibly terminated by our system. The new beast person's contact details and basic information are attached. In 3 days, the new beast person will arrive to sign a new contract with you. I never thought Shakiki could be so dissatisfied with me. I clicked on the screenshots again. Reading through Shakiki's complaints and disdain for me, one by one, my mind was almost a complete blank. Shakiki I had bought her from a high-end beast person market. For a hefty price, to be a companion beast person. She's beautiful, with a spoiled personality, yet so vibrant and full of life. I was used to being alone and had never raised any living thing before. So, I was extra careful when raising a beast person, strictly following the care manual from the seller. I regulated her sleeping hours, her protein and fiber intake, and her daily exercise amount. At first, Shakiki seemed reluctant, but for the most part, she was obedient. When did she start finding fault with everything? I took off my glasses and rubbed the bridge of my nose, a headache coming on. When I opened my eyes again, my gaze fell on a particular sentence she wrote. He also has an older brother. Compared to him, this one's even worse. And suddenly, I remembered. The way Shakiki's eyes had suddenly lit up when my half-brother, Wuxia, paid a surprise visit. And how her tail wagged with so much more force than usual. Wuxia likes bright colors, dresses flamboyantly, and loves to criticize and find fault with me. Always dressed so plainly, anyone who didn't know better would think you're about to become a monk. And this smell of medicine all over you, the whole house reeks. How can your beast person stand it? His shiny Chelsea boots clicked as he walked into the kitchen, only to gasp dramatically. My God, what is this stuff you're feeding your little fox? Minced meat? That's disgusting, little brother. You're raising a beast person, not a wild animal. How can you feed her raw meat? I didn't say a word. I watched as he prowled around my home as if inspecting his territory, finally stopping in front of me. Not talking again? You're still so boring. No wonder nobody likes you, not at home, not anywhere else. He glanced sideways at Shakiki, who was staring at him blankly, and then he smirked. Look at that, the only one willing to stay with you is one you had to buy with money. Hey, little fox, wanna come play at my place? It's way more fun than here, you know. I finally spoke, my voice cold. Don't be a bad influence on the kid. After that, Shakiki was always asking me about Wuxia, both openly and subtly. I thought she was just curious and didn't think much of it, but looking at it now, it's clear she has a special fondness for Wuxia. Even all those nitpicky things she said to me, every single word, every sentence, she must have learned them from Wuxia that day. My fingertips tapped lightly on the desk as my gaze fell on the bed. Shakiki still had herself buried under the covers. I stood up, walked to the bedside, and yanked the blanket off. Shakiki jumped in fright, the smile on her blushing cheeks not yet faded. Her expression froze, and then she glared at me. What are you doing? I grabbed her by the ear, pushed her aside, and emotionlessly scanned her phone. Acting all cute for Wuxia, were you? Bringing her back did liven up the house a bit, but that was all. She would never use that soft, sweet voice on me. What I got were arrogant demands and complaints. So you do know how to act cute, I said, looking down at her. A small, palm-sized face with delicate features. A small mole at the corner of her eye and on the tip of her nose, with long, thick, curly lashes. Her skin was snow white and smooth. She had the looks of a very pretty young girl. Definitely the type Wuxia likes to play with. I picked up her phone. Shakiki sat up to snatch it back. I straightened up, pinning her firmly to the bed with one leg. Be quiet. Shakiki's eyes went wide. You're not allowed to look. That's my privacy. Pets have privacy? I asked softly. Shakiki's face turned pale. She fell silent out of shame and anger. I finished a rough scan of the messages. She had a date with Wuxia for tomorrow night. Someone would come to pick her up then. Seeing that she couldn't hide it from me anymore, Shakiki decided to just let it all out. It's no use looking at me like that. I just don't like you. I like handsome, cheerful humans like your brother, not someone as bland as you. But you did buy me, after all. And you've kept me for so long. I'll compensate you. Compensate me? I looked at her and repeated. Shakiki's eyelids trembled unnaturally. Why yes, that's right. I've already arranged to find a new beast person for you. She'll be here in 3 days. So, putting me up for sale on the beast person dark web. Her words became finding a new beast person for me. What a clever little fox. So full of pretty words and excuses. Do you really want to go to Wuxia's? I kept my leg on Shakiki. My tone light. I'm only going to ask you this once. If you want to go, you are never, ever allowed to come back. Shakiki puffed out her cheeks, her words resolute. I don't want to stay at your place one bit. Good for you. Wuxia's methods for toying with beast people, I just hope this delicate little fox can handle it. I said no more and turned to leave. Model. This is my bedroom. I made Shakiki move to the guest room. She was still defiant and walked out barefoot. Who wants your stupid bed? When I was the only one left in the room, I finally dropped my cold facade and sank into the chair. I let out a weary sigh. It seems Wuxia was right about one thing. Whether inside this house or out, no one is willing to stay with me. The only one who ever stayed by my side was someone I bought. And now, the one I bought doesn't want to stay either. I kept my eyes closed for a long time. When I opened them again, I realized that at some point I had opened the file on that so-called new beastman. In the very formal ID photo, the girl's features were stunning. Vivid and intense, it was a beauty with an aggressive edge. Peeking out from her fluffy white hair were 2 pinkish, furry ears. Name, Lu Ruyan. Race, white tiger. I narrowed my eyes. I couldn't shake the feeling that the name Lu Ruyan sounded a little familiar, so I read her profile more carefully. I then discovered that Lu Ruyan used to be a stray beastman. After being recruited by the Beastman Guild, she became an independent beastman, never having been bound to a human master. But her stats in every category were exceptionally outstanding, especially that face. At her evaluation, she could probably be rated as top tier. A beastman like that actively chose me during the auction, wanting me to be her master? That doesn't seem very reliable. I closed the page. I didn't contact this new beastman. The next day, evening came and went. And Shakiki still hadn't spoken a word to me. I had nothing I wanted to say to her either. I just called the butler and told him to pack up all of Shakiki's belongings and throw them away. I've always been generous to my people. I had given Shakiki many nice things. She had originally complained it was too much trouble to take them with her, but now, seeing that they were all about to be thrown out, she wrinkled her nose and went back to pack a large suitcase. Wuxia's car arrived at the door. Without a single glance back, Shakiki dragged her suitcase and left. Once she was in the car, she was filled with excitement. But with no one to tell, she messaged Lu Ruyan again. I'm about to go to my new master's house. I'm so excited. Lu Ruyan's reply this time was surprisingly fast. Why are you only just now leaving? Shakiki typed. I wasn't even in a hurry. What are you so anxious about? Gosh, I'm still a little nervous. My good days are finally about to start, Lu Ruyan. Once you leave, you won't go back again, right? Shakiki thought her question was bizarre. Of course not, Lu Ruyan. And don't you think I'm some ungrateful wolf, okay? Xia Qiang will get a new beastman too. We're just parting on good terms. Besides, I'll be keeping an eye on things. If that new beastman isn't up to par, or has a bad temperament and treats Xia Qiang poorly, I'll help him deal with her, Lu Ruyan. You must find that possibility troublesome, right, Shakiki? Little, Lu Ruyan. You don't have to go. I'll take care of it for you. This beastman friend of mine is a bit strange sometimes, but she's truly loyal. Shakiki had a rare pang of conscience, feeling she was troubling Lu Ruyan too much. She thought about being polite, but then decided to forget it. Actually, I can do it myself, Lu Ruyan. We're friends. I'm more than happy to help you. On the day the new beastman was due to arrive, I went to the laboratory. The lab at home had been abandoned because Shakiki disliked the smell of chemicals. The other lab was in the suburbs, which was not a short trip. Now that she was gone, it was the perfect time for me to start moving some equipment and materials back. That way I wouldn't have to run back and forth anymore. I had completely forgotten about the new beastman. So when I was carrying a cardboard box, the hem of my clothes smudged with dirt, and arrived home exhausted, I discovered Lu Ruyan squatting by the door. Her ears were drooping with disappointment. I don't know how long she had been waiting. I froze for a moment. Lu Ruyan's nose twitched slightly. Recognizing my scent, she immediately looked up. Her golden eyes locked onto me. She stood up and walked over quickly. She carried a rich and familiar floral scent. Master, I am your new beastman. Lu Ruyan was tall and slender. She was also strong, and helped me move my things into the house in just a couple of trips. Some dust had fallen onto the floor, and without even stopping, she rolled up her sleeves and was about to mop. It was only then that I snapped back to reality. Don't worry about it. We have a robot for that. Oh, seeing that there was really nothing for her to do, Lu Ruyan came and stood before me, her peach blossom-like eyes staring at me without blinking. Her chest rose and fell gently. She seemed a little excited, and a bit nervous. All in all, she looked happy. There was no sign of reluctance. Seeing her expression like this, I felt a headache coming on. This beautiful beastman in front of me had never been bonded to a human master before. Perhaps she was just curious or acting on a whim. When she accepted Shakiki's offer, I didn't think she was serious about wanting me as her master. After all, Shakiki had relentlessly stated in the comments section that I was unqualified. Most beastmen who had been interested would have been deterred. And as for me, after having raised Shakiki, that enthusiasm I had for raising a beastman had been extinguished. I didn't want to get involved with a new one. Grumble, I blinked. My gaze fell on Lu Ruyan's face, then moved down to her stomach. Two distinct pink blotches appeared on Lu Ruyan's pale face. She looked embarrassed and pitiful. I'm sorry. I haven't eaten anything today. I'm a little hungry. What she didn't say was that, out of eagerness, she had arrived early in the morning and waited all the way until the afternoon. In any case, she did help me out. I couldn't let her leave on an empty stomach. With that in mind, I walked into the kitchen. All that was left in the house were a few meal packets I used to prepare for Shakiki. Based on her physical condition, select the best meat sources and grind them into a paste at the perfect ratio. Then, mix in various fibers and supplements and carefully seal them into meal pouches. You just have to steam them to eat. They actually taste alright. They just don't look very appetizing. I took out a meal pouch. After a moment of hesitation, I asked Lu Ruyan, do you want this or a sandwich? This is meat made especially for beast people. But my last beast person said it was awful. Lu Ruyan stood in the living room, her eyes sparkling as if filled with tiny stars. Really? I can eat the meat you made, too? It was as if she hadn't even heard the second option. Oh well, I'll just steam it for her first. If she doesn't like it, we can switch. Maybe because she was a stray for so long, Lu Ruyan ate everything with such relish. I steamed all 3 of the remaining meal pouches. She was mindful of her image and didn't wolf it down. But she still polished it off in no time. That was so delicious. Master, this is the most delicious thing I've ever eaten. After speaking, she got up and came over to me. She crouched down in a posture of complete dependence, and rubbed her head against the back of my hand. The touch was soft and warm. I couldn't help but open my palm, and Lu Ruyan nuzzled her softest ear into it. After I gently stroked it just twice, a purring sound started rumbling in her throat. She looked so well behaved. I reluctantly pulled my hand back, told her to return to her seat, and said, I'm not planning on keeping a beast person for now. We haven't signed a contract anyway. You're free. You can leave whenever you want. Of course, if you still want a master, you can tell me what you're looking for, and I'll help you find someone suitable, satisfactory, and reliable. My tone was arguably gentle, but Lu Ruyan's face, as my words fell, the color slowly drained from it. She stared at me blankly, and her eyes suddenly reddened. My voice trailed off as I stammered. Why you don't cry? Why are you trying to send me away? Am I not as good as Shakiki? What's so good about her? Tell me. I'll learn, I'll change. Lu Ruyan's tears streamed down, dripping from her chin. I'm very easy to take care of. I won't eat the meal pouches. I won't eat meat anymore. You don't have to feed me. I can go hunt for myself. That's not what I mean. I offered her a tissue. She wouldn't take it. Helpless, I could only lift her face to wipe away her tears. You saw it, didn't you? My former beast person said I was bland, boring, and had too many rules. That I even have a bitter scent, and that being kept by me was worse than being a stray. I'm probably just not suited to keeping a beast person. Finding a master is a very serious matter, especially for a beast person in a subordinate position. You can't just accept any master, Lu Ruyan. Like what you did this time, it's not like that. Lu Ruyan urgently grasped my hand, her tear-filled eyes looking up. She looked at me, earnest and aggrieved. You're the best master in the whole world. I've eaten water-injected meat and gnawed on moldy bones. I can tell the difference. Master's buns are made with the best meat. I've lived those days where nobody cared if I lived or died. That's why I know better than anyone that being cared for, being looked after, is a privilege only beast people who live with love have. Your scent is very unique, and it's reassuring. I like it a lot. It was that fox who was no good. She couldn't recognize a true heart. Please don't send me away, okay? I'll be obedient. I'll definitely do much better than that fox. The part of my heart that had been rejected was slowly broken down and melted away by the beast person's scalding tears before me. Was she telling the truth? I looked at Lu Ruyan's tear-soaked eyes, at the crimson corners of her eyes, and opened my mouth. But whether it was refusal or doubt, the words got stuck in my throat. I couldn't say anything in return. Lu Ruyan stayed. She was completely different from Shakiki, sensible to a fault. So much so that it made my heart ache. With the fresh meat I bought, Lu Ruyan refused to let me make meal buns anymore. My teeth are very well developed. I can chew through this meat even if it's frozen. Mincing meat is too tiring. Besides, it takes master such a long time to do it. When the robot was cleaning, she would follow behind it with her tail drooping, sullenly acting as its supervisor, as if the robot had stolen her job. At night, Lu Ruyan was unwilling to enter my room. The day I decided to let her stay, I had cleared out a new room for her. But one night, when I went out to get a drink of water, I found Lu Ruyan at my doorway, lying on a thin blanket. Her tall frame was curled up. Hearing the noise, she slightly opened her eyes. She stared at me quietly for a few seconds, as if unconsciously. Lu Ruyan shuffled over to my feet, closed her eyes, and went back to sleep. I didn't know how many nights she had been doing that. In any case, from that day on, I told her to sleep in my room. Lu Ruyan's breathing grew slightly ragged. Blushing, she shook her head. And no, I can't. I'll just stay at master's door. I frowned at her. Before I could even show my impatience, the tips of Lu Ruyan's ears twitched. She immediately and meekly changed her tune. I'll go inside and sleep. At first, I couldn't understand why Lu Ruyan would rather guard my doorway then come inside. Not until she lay with her back to me. Her body as stiff as a board, her tail tucked tightly between her legs. I was leaning against the headboard working, and the beast person beside me felt like a hard rock. When I reached out to touch her, Lu Ruyan let out a sharp, sudden gasp. I fell silent. Before I could even figure out what was happening, Lu Ruyan turned over, her peach blossom eyes glistening with moisture. Her long lashes trembled, and her porcelain-like face was flushed with an unnatural blush. She radiated a scorching heat as she nuzzled up against me, her voice holding a slight sob. I'm sorry, your room. Your bed is filled with your scent. It's overwhelming. It's all I can breathe. Her damp nose touched my side, and I couldn't resist. I looked down at her. At that exact moment, Lu Ruyan looked up. Her expression was half pleading, half inviting, yet wrapped in the pitiful fear of being rejected. Do you want to play with me? Anywhere is fine. Anything a companion beast person can do, I can do all of it. I'll definitely do it better than Shakiki. Why would she bring up Shakiki at a time like this? I put my laptop aside and took off my glasses. I stood up slowly. Although for a companion beast person, helping their master relieve stress is the most common function, I've never touched Shakiki. It wasn't because I didn't have the need. Quite the opposite. Between my research work and my complicated family relationships, I actually have a great need for an outlet. When I first bought her, that wasn't entirely off my mind. It's just that she's too delicate, too willful, and throws too many unreasonable tantrums. The only way I could unconditionally tolerate her was by treating her like a child. But Lu Ruyan, my eyes were devoid of emotion. I looked down on her. Can you handle anything? She nodded. I sighed to myself. Then, I began to smile. A secret excitement crawled up from deep inside me. When it comes to this, I've always had a ruthless streak. I need to be forceful enough to bite down hard on the other person, and not let go until I'm certain they are my possession. It's how I find satisfaction and a sense of security. To my surprise, Lu Ruyan and I were perfectly in sync. In every single way. After that night, I slept, completely sated, until noon the next day. When I woke up, Lu Ruyan was destroying the kitchen. She was flustered and panicked. Her hands were covered in soot from who knows where, which she had smeared on her face. When she saw me looking, she shyly hid her hands behind her back. The robot was zipping around the kitchen as Lu Ruyan's face flushed with embarrassment. She lowered her head and pointed a finger at the robot. It did it. The robot stopped in its tracks. Jerkily, it turned its body to face Lu Ruyan. A large question mark appeared on its screen. I laughed out loud, mimicking her stutter. It can understand you. As for you, lying isn't what a good girl does. It was a peaceful afternoon. The warm sun streamed in from the window, illuminating the entire house. As I wiped Lu Ruyan's hands, I suddenly thought that this was actually quite nice. The sudden ringing of a phone shattered the tranquility. It was Xiao, and he was furious. That fine beast person you raised came begging to me herself. She said she liked me and wanted me to take her in. But she wouldn't even let me touch her. So I starved her. I locked her up. I thought I had her trained. I hadn't even stripped her clothes off and she bit me. What a piece of junk. If she wasn't so good looking, I would have used a whip on her. I listened in silence, completely unmoved. I've said it before, since Shakiki decided to leave, my home is no longer a place for her. A disobedient beast person. You can do whatever you want with her. So why are you calling me? Xiao sneered. Of course I did whatever I wanted with her. I had my people just throw her out. I'm just calling to give you a heads up. That thing might go looking for her big sucker again. Just as he said that, the villa's main gate opened. Pale-faced, a disheveled Shakiki stood in the doorway. The moment she saw me, her lips began to tremble pitifully, like a bullied child who had just come home. Tears streamed down her face. Shakiki walked towards me, choking back sobs. Qiang, your brother is a psycho. He hurt me. He threw me out in a garbage dump. I had to walk so far to get home. A low, warning growl rumbled in Lu Ruyan's throat. She blocked me from view. Her expression fierce and cold, something I had never seen before. What home? This isn't your home. Shakiki froze. A little snot bubble she just formed was still on her face. Looking disheveled and ridiculous, she stared at Lu Ruyan, then back at me. Her former pampered arrogance was completely gone. She asked in a small voice. Lu Ruyan, why is it you? What are you doing in my house? She glanced around. She forced a cautious, faint smile, but her voice trembled. Where's the new beast person? Did you check her out for me? Did you decide she wasn't good enough, so you got rid of her? Shakiki bit her lip and looked at me. Asking for confirmation, that's it, right? Qiang? I said nothing. Shakiki was actually very smart. Her hands, balled into fists at her sides, were shaking. Her dirty, matted tail was stretched taut. She obviously already knew the truth, but was still deceiving herself. Lu Ruyan, thank you for taking care of Master for me, but... Shakiki tried to walk closer. The nearer she got, paler her face became. There was no scent of another beast person in the air, except for Lu Ruyan's. In the end, she stopped 3 steps away from Lu Ruyan, her face completely drained of color as she slowly lowered her head. She could smell it, the scent clinging to Qiang. Seamless, strong, and overwhelming. Scent of Lu Ruyan. Fat teardrops began to fall once more. She wiped the corners of her eyes with both hands, like a child whose favorite toy had been snatched away. She fought back a sob. How could this be? Lu Ruyan, you lied to me. She had only been away from home for a week. If there was another beastman in the house, it's impossible that they wouldn't leave the slightest scent. From the very beginning, the one who came to her house and acknowledged Qiang as their master was only one person, Lu Ruyan. That anonymous beastman who instantly bid on Qiang was actually Lu Ruyan. Shakiki was both furious and devastated. Aren't we friends? How could you steal my master? Lu Ruyan pressed her lips together tightly. Seeing Shakiki's tears, the fierce aura around her gradually crumbled. Only her tone remained stiff. Because you were bad to him. He was already taking such good care of you, Shakiki. But you hurt him. Shakiki was stung by her blunt, direct words. Her voice grew shrill. That's between me and my master. What's it to you? After being astray for so long, you just can't stand seeing other beastmen doing well. You really are the lowest of the low. And to think I thought you were different. As if she suddenly remembered something. A fire ignited in Shakiki's eyes. She turned to look at me, as if seeking support. Qiang, Lu Ruyan is a friend I met only after you bought me. She was the one who told me about the dark web, and she was the one who told me not to come back after I went to your brother's house. I was planning to come back to see you. It's all her fault. You're not allowed to be with her. I noticed that. In front of Shakiki, Lu Ruyan looked fierce, but was terrible with words, not offering a single sentence in her own defense. She just pressed her lips into a thin line, as if something shameful about her had just been publicly exposed. She was so nervous she was barely breathing. I decided to tease Lu Ruyan a little. I raised an eyebrow and asked her, Lu Ruyan, is there anything you want to say? Lu Ruyan opened her mouth and glanced back at me. But she swallowed the words on the tip of her tongue. In the end, she only apologized. I'm sorry, master. Shakiki seemed to think she had the upper hand. Her tears stopped, and her arrogance flared. With her chin tilted up, she declared loudly. You're not allowed to call Xia Qiang, master. I won't hold it against you for lying to me. Now, get out of my house. I sighed and reached out, taking Lu Ruyan's wrist. It was only then that I noticed her body temperature had dropped. Her skin was ice cold. After pulling Lu Ruyan behind me, I finally looked at Shakiki properly. I said coolly, you're the one who should get out. Didn't I tell you? Once you leave, you're not allowed to come back. When I finished speaking, the entire room fell silent. Shakiki stared at me, stunned. Behind me, Lu Ruyan's breathing also slowed. I contacted the butler and told him to take Shakiki away. Even after the call ended, Shakiki still didn't seem to have processed what had just happened. Xia Qiang, you're going to keep a stray beastman and kick me out instead? Shakiki's tail drooped to the floor. Her eyes were full of disbelief. The fur on her tail was filthy. The moment it touched the floor, it left a dirty smudge. I frowned in disgust. Disgusting. I'm not dirty. Shakiki's chest heaved violently. In front of me, she always had this endless bravado. I'll be clean after a wash. You're not allowed to call me disgusting. I asked her, after being played with by Ji Boxiao. How do you have the face to say you're clean? My tone could be described as light. But Shakiki couldn't take it. She bit her lip hard. Staring at me, the hatred in her eyes almost tangible. I braced myself. If she was going to start cursing out of anger again, I would ignore my misophobia, grab her by the scruff of her neck, and throw her out myself. But Shakiki didn't say a word. Tears just started streaming down her face again. Before the butler could even arrive, Shakiki bolted out the door herself. A robot immediately came forward and cleaned every spot she had stepped on. That night, a heavy rain began to fall outside the window. Thunder boomed and lightning flashed. Branches, snapped by the fierce wind, fell onto the balcony. The whole world was filled with the raging storm. I looked up at Lu Ruyan and saw her expression was normal. Her sleeping face was peaceful, completely unaffected by the bad weather. Relieved, I looked away. The noisy rain made it impossible to concentrate on my work. I ended up just propping my face in my hands and staring blankly out the window. Whenever it thundered before, Shakiki would shrink back and cling to me. Her tail would wrap tightly around me, and she wouldn't even let my gaze wander elsewhere. She wouldn't be satisfied until I continuously stroked and soothed her. I always thought all beastmen were this high maintenance and delicate. Now it seems I just ended up with a little princess. Taking care of Lu Ruyan is so much easier. The person on the bed silently opened her eyes. She watched me for a long while before speaking. Master, Lu Ruyan gave a soft laugh. If you're really worried about Shakiki, master, you should bring her back. She was raised by humans since she was little. A beastman who grew up in a greenhouse won't be able to survive out there. If she comes back and is still disrespectful and disloyal to you, I'll teach her a lesson and make her obey. I blinked. I never said I was going to bring her back. Lu Ruyan kept looking at me, so I just sat down beside her and explained, I was just thinking. Beastmen are especially sensitive to weather and sounds. You must have suffered a lot when you were a stray. That's probably why you're not afraid of the storm at all. Lu Ruyan froze. After a long moment, she lowered her gaze and said softly, no, I didn't suffer that much. I was lucky, just like Shakiki. I also met a very kind person, but I was luckier than her. Now that she was staying with me, I got into bed. I pinched Lu Ruyan's face and started to smile. Since you're awake, let's do something with master that's perfect for this weather. A downpour can drown out many sounds that shouldn't be heard by the outside world. It lets people who want to misbehave be even more brazen. This downpour lasted for 5 straight days, so I didn't even bother going out. I just holed up at home with Lu Ruyan until the afternoon the rain finally started to let up. While cleaning the garden, the robot suddenly turned back. There's a fox outside the gate. Her vital signs are dropping continuously. It looks like she's about to die. I frowned after reading the text on its display screen. The dark web had terminated the contract, so that meant Shakiki was no longer my beast person. In that case, if she dies at my doorstep, I won't be held responsible for it. That's how it works, right? A large exclamation mark popped up on the robot's display. Oh no, if she dies at the gate, I'm the one who has to clean it up. I don't want to clean up a corpse. The robot asked me to respect its rights. I had no choice. I dragged Shakiki, who could barely maintain her human form, inside and tossed her into the guest bedroom. As I turned to leave, her foxtail hooked around my arm. She seemed to have regained a sliver of consciousness, letting out broken sobs from her throat. I pulled my hand free. After the beast person doctor finished his examination, his brows were knitted tightly. He started lecturing me while setting up an IV for Shakiki. If you're going to buy such a valuable beast person, you need to take proper care of her. What kind of master are you? This beast person has hypothermia, and her stomach is completely empty. It's been pouring for days. Did you just leave her outside? He kept nagging. Annoyed, I closed my eyes for a moment. I cut him off. This fox isn't my beast person. I pointed to Lu Ruyan. This little white tiger is. Later, could you give my white tiger a checkup, please? The doctor realized he'd blamed the wrong person. All right, he said, embarrassed. Sir, please don't blame me. I just never expected that someone would abandon a beast person of this quality these days. There's nothing strange about it. I glanced down at the fox on the bed, who had gotten much thinner. There are plenty of beast people with good pedigrees. The disobedient ones, the ones that can't be tamed, naturally get abandoned. The fox trembled almost imperceptibly. The doctor chimed in. That makes sense. So, this fox is a stray? Sir, are you going to adopt her? If not, I can take her back to the hospital. I said, do whatever. At that, Xia Keke couldn't take it anymore. She weakly opened her eyes. Don't. Xia Qiang, you can't do this to me. Her voice was faint. I'm really not dirty. I didn't let Ji Boxiao touch me and the rain has washed everything else off. I nonchalantly pulled the door open to leave. I have Lu Ruyan now. That's okay. I can be your beast person along with Lu Ruyan. Xia Keke struggled to sit up, but the doctor quickly held her down. She struggled to maintain her human form, but didn't have the strength. Seeing that I was about to leave, Xia Keke couldn't help but beg. Don't abandon me, I know I was wrong. I stopped in my tracks. Truthfully, I didn't care whether she admitted her mistake or not. I had never waited for her to feel remorse. I just suddenly remembered how I used to treat her so well. She was so arrogant and entitled back then. Getting her to bow her head and admit she was wrong was next to impossible, but now that I no longer needed her, she was the one taking the initiative to apologize. So it seems the proud bones inside this shell, once drenched by the rain, can become utterly spineless. They were ready to snap on their own before anyone even tried to break them. Through the crack in the door, I gave her one last, emotionless look. Then, I left without looking back. A corner of the suburban laboratory had collapsed in the storm. My colleague contacted me. I needed to go urgently to check on the experimental equipment and materials. I'd probably be gone for a few days. The night before I left, I went to check the stock of meal packs in the fridge I had prepared for Lu Ruyan. When I was heading back, I realized Xia Keke had followed me downstairs at some point. She had several black and blue bruises on her body. Don't get the wrong idea. I got these from falling outside. Xia Keke moved closer to me. When she was right in front of me, she knelt on one knee, tilting up her fragile, slender neck. The moonlight shone on her face. Behind her, her foxtail swayed slightly. Xia Qiang, Master, what are all the things Lu Ruyan has done for you? The end of Xia Keke's sentence trembled. She took my hand, placed it on her own neck, and then slowly guided it downwards. I'm beautiful too, aren't I? Anything she does for you, I can do it too. I'll make you feel good. I quietly lowered my gaze. My hand didn't follow the path she intended. Instead, I tightened my grip around her neck, slowly increasing the pressure. Xia Keke shuddered, but she didn't struggle. She even pressed her body closer to mine. It wasn't until a pained expression crossed her face that I frowned and let go. Why bother, Xia Keke? What you did wasn't some minor squabble. I won't indulge you like I used to. You betrayed me. The day you bought me, I was kicked out by my family. It was all because my stepmother said I looked like bad luck and had an unpleasant personality. That I would be a bad influence on her children. No one liked me. I had no one. But that day, the way you looked at me through the glass window was filled with attachment and longing. I pulled a soft blanket from the nearby sofa and draped it over Xia Keke's thin shoulders. Then I turned to go upstairs. Just as I stepped onto the staircase, I turned my head back. There was no warmth in my eyes. I guess I gave you a great sense of security, didn't I? So much so that even now, you still think I'd be willing to take you back. But I won't lie to you. I need a sense of security, too. Desperately. And that is why your betrayal. I will never forgive her. Xia Keke's shoulders trembled. She slowly bent down, not daring to look back at me again. While I was away from home, Lu Ruyan looked after Xia Keke for a few days. The night before Xia Keke left, Lu Ruyan video called me. For once, she started complaining to me that Xia Keke had eaten more than half of her dinner rolls. Dinner rolls? I asked, surprised. Lu Ruyan gritted her teeth. That's right, my dinner rolls, the ones Master made specially for me. She was crying while she ate them. I didn't have the heart to snatch them back. It's all right, I'll make you new ones when I get back. I had just ordered a batch of fresh sea fish. I finished comforting her, but Lu Ruyan still felt aggrieved. Xia Keke also stole Master's pajamas. She hugs them when she sleeps at night. I never even had a chance to get them back. I fell silent. After I finished work and returned home, Xia Keke was already gone. She had refused to go with the doctor. And she wasn't allowed to stay, so she had to become a stray and register with the Beast People's Association. She would have to work for the guild, and if she was lucky, maybe she could find a new master. By the bedside, next to the pillow where Xia Keke used to love to curl up, I found her blanket. It was a plush blanket I'd had custom made. The blanket had a cartoon image of the two of us on it. Xia Keke used to despise this blanket, always saying it was childish. But for some reason, when she went to Ji Boxiao's place, she took this blanket with her. While she was wandering outside, she somehow managed not to lose it. Now it was folded neatly and placed by my bed. I picked it up. A note gently fluttered out from inside. I'm sorry, but at the very least, please, master, keep this blanket. Don't forget me. Suddenly, I heard the sound of grinding teeth next to me. I turned my head and saw Lu Ruyan, once again looking full of resentment. The way she was grinding her teeth amused me. I stuffed the blanket into her arms and used my free hands to rub her ears. There, you can do whatever you want with the blanket. Don't be so jealous. Lu Ruyan's perspective. When I was wandering, I couldn't maintain my human form. I was starving so often that I always suspected tomorrow would be my last day. But the one who arrived before the Grim Reaper was Xia Qiang. He rescued me, thinking I was a kitten, and took me to the vet. While I was getting treatment, he waited outside the entire time. I just kept watching him. He was a very handsome human male, tall and slender, with a lean build. He had very fair skin and soft, delicate features. His black hair was neat, and the eyes behind his glasses always seemed indifferent. As if nothing really bothered him. He didn't hear the doctor say I wasn't a cat, but he did hear them say that I was suited for the wild, not the city. And certainly not suited to be a pet. So, Xia Qiang took me to the area around his lab and released me. Surrounding his lab was a field of nameless wildflowers that bloomed year-round. Model. Fragrance was so rich. I hid in the flower bushes every day, watching Xia Qiang. He loved coming to the lab. Whenever he came, he'd stay from morning till night. I'd watch him in the morning, sleep during the day, and then watch him again at night. At night, I'd go out to hunt. Things went on peacefully like this for a while. I decided to stage an encounter with him. But from that day on, for the longest time, Xia Qiang never came back to the lab. A person like him, who loves researching potions so much, what could have delayed him? Did something happen to him? I started to feel a little regret. I'd never followed him home before, so now I couldn't even go visit him. When I finally saw Xia Qiang again, I was so ecstatic my limbs wouldn't listen to me. I rushed over, couldn't stop in time, and slammed right into his leg. Then I clumsily fell onto my back with all four paws in the air. Xia Qiang's usually cold expression twitched slightly. It looked like he was smiling, but I kind of wanted to cry. The embarrassment was one thing, but what really broke my heart was I could smell another beast person on him. Is that why he stopped coming to the lab? Because he took in another beast person? Xiao, am I? You still remember me? Xia Qiang crouched down, looking at me quietly. There was a smile in his eyes. You seem to have gotten chubbier. Harsh words wound a beast's heart. How could he say I got chubbier? Pretty impressive. You've taken good care of yourself out here. Xia Qiang took something out of his backpack. Are you hungry? Sorry, I didn't know I'd run into you. All I have is half a bag of food pouches that my beast person left unfinished. His beast person's leftovers. Half a bag. I made them myself, you know. I spent a lot of time researching the recipe, but the one at my place is such a picky eater. It seemed like Xia Qiang hadn't spoken to anyone in a long time. He was being unusually talkative with me. I kept my head down and ate quietly, meowing like a kitten to answer him. Xia Qiang was silent for a moment. When he saw that I'd finished eating, he pointed to the empty bag. Was it good? I nodded. In silence, he picked me up. He walked over to a nearby tree and sat down. My beast person said it tastes terrible. She always seems so unhappy at home. Is this a rebellious phase? She won't talk to me. She doesn't like to respond. If things don't go her way, even a little, she gets angry. Are all beast people this hard to raise? She even complains that the smell of potions on me is too strong. I haven't even worked on any new formulas for a while now, but the scent just doesn't seem to go away. Xia Qiang's tone was calm, but his words made me bare my teeth. I was fuming. I decided to go and meet the one at his place. It was surprisingly easy to get close to her. I just sent out some friendly signals, gave her some mindless compliments. That useless beauty immediately treated me like a friend. What an idiot. She couldn't see how good Xia Qiang was, always finding fault with him on a whim. So, I played along and told her about the beast person trade on the dark web, where you can buy and sell masters. The transaction was successful. The contract was instantly dissolved. This was never a legal or legitimate affair, so naturally, it wasn't easy. I struggled with this for a long time, but the moment Shakiki put Xia Qiang on the dark web, it was all worth it. Everything that came after just fell into place, exactly as it should have. The moment I stood before Xia Qiang in my beast form, even though he looked at me with unfamiliarity and distance, my heart was still pounding so fast it felt like it would explode. He may seem cold on the outside, but he's warm-hearted. He's truly a good person. He was willing to caress me, hold me, kiss me. The more intimate we became, the colder his expression grew. He wasn't too rough with me, yet his own palm was red. My heart ached for him, so I moved closer to lick it, only to find that Xia Qiang was crying. He was expressionless, looking down on me, in complete control of me, yet crying silently. His tears fell on my skin. burning like lava. I'm sorry, does it hurt? Remember this pain, and no matter how much it hurts, you are never to leave me. Suddenly, I wanted to cry too. Qiang would never know. How long I had schemed just to be by his side. How long I'd been breathless with anxiety just to touch him. Just to love him.